going on, everybody? Almost in Full Color panel is back. Before we start, we hope that this video is finding everyone in great health. If it's not finding you in great health, we hope that day by day you're getting stronger, and we pray for a speedy recovery. Also, quick public service announcement. Look out for your fellow man. There is a way to look out for the person next to you and not be a dick about it. So, through this trying time, let's just get through it together. Lastly, I'd like to dedicate this to all the health workers out there. You guys are fucking awesome. Keep doing your thing.
Keep fucking awesome.
Would you gentlemen like to dedicate this episode or anything that you have to say to any one entity or thing?
No, I think you hit it. I think
you hit it pretty good.
Here we go. All right. It's been a while since we did a pod, and no one has heard our thoughts on Nvidia GeForce. So first, I will break down Nvidia GeForce for those who don't know what it is. Now, about 2 years ago, they were in beta, testing out. They decided to go with their full launch now. What it is a cloud-based gaming service, and it's quite different than some of the other models out there. They're actually not selling you games. They're just selling you the ability to play your games on an outdated PC or phone, tablet, laptop, whatever medium. The way it works is you log on to the service, you sign up. There are two models, free and premium. Free, you sign in and you have to wait in line for a virtual machine. Once you get on, you'll log into whatever account that you want to use, whether it be Steam, Ubi, Battle.net rather. This is data information, but Activision Blizzard games, 2K games. You log in, show that you had purchased the game, and then it will let you play it. If you were free, you got 1 hour. If you were premium, you got 6 hours, and you got priority while in line. So free, if you were number 5 in line and a premium user came in, you may go down to 6. That's pretty much the gist of it. So, after the launch, a lot of people started to pull out. Well, before we get into that, what do you all think about the model of that model?
Pulling out is actually a good model.
That model itself, just that base model.
I was waiting for it. That's why I started laughing. I was like, James is going to say something. He walked into that one.
Roger, I got it. Terry's got the giggles now.
Well, it kind of sucks that you only have like a time limit, and generally that never works well, especially if you pay for something. Like you said, there was like 6 hours. So the only way I would see this service being helpful is like, oh, my PC broke. It's going to take me a month or two to get a new one. I'll pay this a little bit to play my game still until I get the new one. Like, it seems like a substitute more than a replacement with that style model. That's all I have on just the model part.
Who would like to go next?
I got nothing to say about this one.
Okay.
I think Stadia is still doing it better than GeForce at the moment.
Thank you, Terry.
I understand what they're doing, but I don't. I mean, you see how many investors have pulled out of it already.
Yeah, I mean, I know I kind of talked about it in one video, but obviously the reason people were pulling out was because, like you said, they were kind of the third party, like offering you the ability to play games through their service, but yet they were kind of piggybacking off of game publishers' agreements with those services, with like Steam and things like that. So
don't go too deep. Just keep it shallow.
That's gonna be all for me, baby.
We'll get to that point.
Why would you say it like that? You know I'm gonna jump on that. I can't not.
We'll get to that point.
Take that to a sexy place.
He wants you to take your time before
you can't look at my eyes and tell me don't go too deep. Man. Just think I'm gonna be able to keep this from the gutter.
I don't know. I just immediately thought of Keith's sexy time video.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Keith almost in full color and today.
Well, okay, so I won't go too deep into that, but yeah. So basically, that's why publishers did pull. But anyway, talking to the 6 hour thing, honestly, 6 hours, like I probably would never sit down and play a game for 6 straight hours. And I think if most people were honest with themselves, you're not going to grind 6 straight hours of gameplay. But like Roger said, it's the fact that you're paying and you just have a limitation. Even though you'll probably never hit that in one gaming session, it's like the fact that it's there is like, it shouldn't be there if I'm paying money. If it's free with the hour, I think you should get a little longer, but I can understand it because I'm not paying anything. So if you want to limit me, it's like, cool, whatever. I didn't bring anything to the table. I'm just free to play guy. But paying shouldn't be a limit. I do feel like Stadia. Like Terry said, Stadia does do it better just because Stadia is their own thing. And kind of speaking to what Roger said again with it's only PC people that's really going to really use this. And most of these people already have high-end PCs that play games better than their service does. The thing Stadia does is kind of go after people who don't want to pay for a console and also people who don't have a PC. So it's like, it's their own console, so to speak. And since their games are actually made for them, you don't have to worry about the whole pulling thing. But, yeah, so I guess if people wanted to use it for, like Roger said, if your PC broke or maybe you just wanted to play on the go. You know, I could see that. Not too many people game on laptops. Most people have dedicated gaming desktops. So once you leave the house, you're pretty much, you know, separated from your gaming system. But I guess you could use it for that. But other than that, I really don't see why most people would want to use it. But I don't know. Maybe if they get the publisher thing hashed out, people will actually start playing it more or come back to it.
I liked it a lot. Although cloud gaming still isn't for me, I did like it mainly because my dad has Age of Empires on Steam. So I was like, you know what, let me just go check it out real quick. I checked it out for the hour, got smashed. But it was still cool I didn't have to put anything into it. I literally just got on. And for free, I think I waited like 2 minutes. Premium users said they don't even wait. Like pretty much once they go, it's...
Yeah, they probably don't have the user base to actually make people wait yet.
Yeah, I mean, well, which is crazy because apparently they're sold out in terms of the premium user slots or whatever. And I don't know if it's because of the time.
That's weird that you would sell out. So that means,
well, apparently they just didn't have enough servers to
probably trying to make sure that
everything.
Your queue's not long.
Yeah. So but for free, I think I waited like 2.5 minutes, got in, played for the hour, and that reminded me of like Spotify and Pandora kind of because I played for the hour, and then it was like, oh, time's done, and I was like, God, I gotta go wait back in line. Like now you're just making me want to pay just so I don't have to deal, or I could just play for a little bit longer. But ultimately, I did like it. It still doesn't make me want to be a cloud gamer at this point in time. But I thought it was pretty cool, and it's a good like in and out. For instance, like Roger was saying, if you were just fixing your PC gradually while you were just doing that, and then finally when you fix it, you can just pull out that service, and instead of having to burn through whatever money you had to burn through to fix it all right there, you can save up and do a little bit at a time.
Kind of push it down the road.
Yeah, so I mean, it all just depends on what you're into. But a lot of people love it. It's like pretty crazy. But funny enough, a lot of people didn't love it. So as Gang said, like, I don't know which one to say. Anyways, Activision Blizzard pulled out. They were the first big ones.
Yeah.
After that,
Square Enix pulled.
Square Enix, Konami, Capcom.
Yeah.
And just recently,
Rockstar was never there.
Yeah, Rockstar was never there, and just recently, 2K Games pulled out. So all their stuff is gone. But yet, somehow, they're still selling a lot. And I more so want to touch on one part, which is there's an indie game that came out, and the name eludes me right now. But they pulled their game because they said they never asked them for permission for that game to be on there. A lot of people got mad with this and said, oh, they're being greedy. They got our money, and we just wanted the ability to play it. You don't offer me that ability to play it wherever. They were going to offer me that ability. But we paid for your game. You, as a developer, got my 60, and however you got it. Like, that's what I paid. I don't know the splits between everything else, but I paid it, and I'm just paying them to let me play it wherever I want. Like, everything's legit. So now it becomes a conversation of, are devs greed? Like, do they owe developers money? Like, basically, as Gang said, they don't exist without these developers. Like, your product couldn't exist without them. So do they owe them some format of financial or favor for this? That favor could be in the shape or form of anything.
That made it worse.
I'm just gonna let Gaines say his joke, and then I'm gonna.
No, I have no joke.
No, go ahead.
I have no
you know
joke.
you want to.
I have no joke. None. I will not fall for such low-hanging fruit. I have morals and standards, Terry.
Roger, would you like to take a swing at this again?
Oh, but real fast, the reason why this gets kind of weird is because CD Projekt Red said they're going to put out Cyberpunk 2077 and they'll let it be played there. They don't. If you pay them, you can play wherever you want. They don't care.
Well, they already have that
So,
partnership, though. That's probably why.
With Nvidia?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know
That's
they had a
why they're
partnership
making.
with Nvidia.
They're making their own kind of capture card for Cyberpunk.
Oh,
Weird.
wow. That's weird. Why?
No, it's just like it's a 2080, but it says Cyberpunk 2027 or 27.
Oh, their own
77?
graphics card.
Yeah,
I thought you
like-
said capture
Oh,
card.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That's why I was
No,
like,
no.
why?
I mean
What?
graphics
Okay,
card.
okay.
Yes. So they have their own graphics card that they're making.
Kind of like special edition consoles.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like when
okay.
Star Wars came out, how Star Wars had its own graphics card as well.
I didn't even know they had that. Well, I'm not a
it's
PC
the
guy. So.
Titan or something. It's the same thing.
Mhm.
That's their partnership, I guess.
So then that makes sense why they would put it on there.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll
let you
take
have
it.
that one.
Well, I mean, I understand where devs are coming from. I wouldn't say it's them being greedy, but like kind of like what I was touching on in the other video is that they're not going to get Gamestop. They're like, look, we know that your whole service is pretty much piggybacking off of our previous agreements with Steam and Battle.net and whatever percentage or cut they're getting. They're like, yeah, that's cool, but you guys weren't around and you weren't in the picture when these agreements were made. So you're going to have to pay something. Like, you're not just going to come in and be like, oh, you already own that game? Like, you can just play it over here, too. It's like, well, no, they were supposed to be playing it on these devices that connect to Steam. You weren't in here when we came up with it. So if you want access to our licensed games, because they allow Steam to sell it, but Steam doesn't own those games. Yeah. They're just a median for you to access the games from the developer. So they're like, look, we let Steam sell it and you can play it on PCs, but you guys aren't just about to eat off of us for free. So I always said they'll put the games back on there once they decide if they're going to pay. If Nvidia is like, we're not going to pay any type of money to y'all, their service is not going to work. Nobody's going to let them use their games for nothing, and you're making money. It's just like when PlayStation and Xbox hated that GameStop was reselling used games. They just couldn't do anything about it because technically when you bought the physical copy, you owned it. Yep. So you were able to trade it in or sell it if you wanted to. And that was the thing they couldn't get around. So GameStop technically was buying it from you and then making money off of it, doing GameStop things. So pretty much I feel like that's all it is. But if Nvidia gives them money, whether it's a percentage or whether it's like based on if 50,000 people, play it on your console, on your service, you pay us X amount of money, or even if it's hourly based, since, people going to be playing for so many hours, it's like, yo, for every X amount of hours, we get X amount of money. Then they'll bring them back. Like, they don't really care that you can play them on the video. They just want their fair share because they're getting it from everybody else. They get it from PlayStation, get it from Xbox, get it from Stadia, get it from Steam, Battle.net, whoever is using our games is giving us a kickback, except for you. And that's not going to fly because you don't want other services popping up thinking that they can piggyback off that, saying like, oh my God, look at this low operating cost. We don't even have to pay them anything to develop their games. We just make some virtual machine PCs and just sell them to people. Yeah. So
I mean, plus
I was about to say that's the odd part about it. You're not making a new platform because, like, I could create probably my own AWS instance in the cloud, costs a lot more, but play my own games up there. AWS technically taking my money then underneath, which is almost like Nvidia is providing that just infrastructure for you. So that's where it gets tricky to do that. Like, Nvidia is offering that, but really they're just offering an infrastructure for you to load your own stuff.
So I guess really what it would be thinking of is how much do you own the game you bought
That's
from Steam?
where it gets weird.
That's the argument currently.
Yeah, it's because they're pretty much telling you that you're not owning those games. Because if you own them, I guess, like Roger said, you could play them wherever you wanted. Yeah. But if they're pulling them. I guess they have the right to pull them, though. They don't have any agreements with Nvidia to play the game.
But that's the weird part, too. It's like, well, they're doing something if they're able to pull their games out of it. Like, they're not just hosting, like, a virtual machine plainly where you have evidently your whole Steam. It seems like you're limited to stuff. So they're doing something else on top of that. So that's where it's just a mix versus, like, Stadia is its own platform, like you said, where they have games made for them.
Sure. I remember why they pulled them. It wasn't so much of you playing it on Nvidia. It's because what Nvidia was doing to get around installation times. Like when you buy a game from Steam, you have to download it from Steam and install it to your PC. What Nvidia was doing to cut down those times, probably to compete with Stadia, is they were actually caching the games locally on Nvidia servers. So that you will be able to install faster straight from their servers into their infrastructure or your virtual machine, whatever you want to call it. That's what they got popped on, because they were locally caching the games instead of having you do everything through Steam. So they were almost...
Well, that's a weird licensing, because that's like me storing a server for y'all to download the games. Like, that would be kind of the same aspect.
So that's what they got popped on, was that they were keeping those joints locally so that people could download them super fast. Because obviously, you know, they're trying to make it seem like you can game like right now. So,
but like I said, everything else that's been cloud is platform based. It's not, like I said, it seems like Nvidia is more like this weird infrastructure / platform thing they're going for. Versus Stadia is like, I can't just put anything in Stadia. It's a Stadia made game. Yeah. We still don't know. It seems like they're based off the PC ones, but there is a difference between them.
Yeah, some type of difference.
Because, I mean, we compared Destiny 2 before, and it's like a lot of the settings are gone. Just how certain things work is different. So they're just making some port or some version. But, like, Nvidia, it doesn't seem like they have that. So that's where it's like, it's hard to divide. If it was purely infrastructure, I don't think it would be that trouble. If you had to just download them yourself still and all that, it'd probably be fine, but you would lose the big cloud sell.
Yeah, and that's probably why they were caching. Because, like, if you got to, I mean, when you downloaded, what, was it Destiny when we did the comparison videos months ago to, like,
yeah,
I think you did PC to Stadia.
I had to re-download it because of my Stadia issue.
It was like 4 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're selling a remote PC setup like Nvidia, and it's like, I got to wait 4 hours to download a game I already own, you're not going to use it. That's way too long to play on the go. Well, granted, they'll
probably be slightly faster just because they have probably a bigger bandwidth, but still, you're still going to be like 2 hours.
Yeah. By that time, I mean, you're not waiting around. You're probably gone from wherever.
But then you would have a standard. The only way that would work is if you have your own VM that's pretty much constantly up, and then or your own hard drive, your own slots that they save. That just when it boots up, it just loads down, and then you can play on the go. But you'll have that prep time still.
No. I wasn't. They hit everything. I have nothing else to add on to it.
We hit everything.
So, first and foremost, for the people saying the devs are greedy or whatever, think if like you have a child, right, and your parents then like bought that child tickets to a theme park, and they're like, "Yo, I'm taking that child to that theme park whenever I want, just because I bought them the tickets." And you're like, "No, I don't want them to go." Like, is that you being like greedy as like a parent? Just because you gave someone money, they're not your slave. Like, ultimately is how I see, like, it's literally how it sounds like, oh, I gave you devs money, so like I should be able to do whatever, or basically you should keep this on Nvidia because I gave you money. So it should stay there and I should be able to do that. And it's like, it's their IP to put wherever they please. Like, it's... that's the only gripe I have, like, with everything. Like, you can feel however you want about the whole thing, but just because you give someone money doesn't mean that you get to dictate whatever their movement is. Like, they made that IP, you put the shit wherever you want. I don't care personally.
And usually you sign up for the platform, because one thing I always wanted, but I understand why they don't do it, is I buy a lot of games on PC and stuff like that. It'd be nice to play the PlayStation version. But completely different platform, different agreements.
Right.
I understand why I have to buy two, but that's just how things work there. Like, it's just all that. I don't know where it's going at the end of that.
For me, it's not really going to matter either way.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
I guess you own it. Like, when you buy from Steam, you probably own it, but they only want you in installing it and saving it to things you own as well.
Right.
So you own your PC, that's fine, but you don't own the Nvidia infrastructure. So they're like, no, you're not about to just install it and keep it up there because you don't own that. You're just renting.
Yeah.
You know, so what happens to that when you don't pay your $5 next month? Do they erase it? Like, where does it go? Is other people utilizing it so they don't have to download from Steam?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing, letting other people like, yo, it's already on this server. Just pull it from this server. Don't worry about going back to Steam. You already own it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, champ. It's not going that way.
But moving on from there and still keeping up with old Activision, Blizzard Activision, whichever way they go these days. They've been having some bad issues with good old World of Warcraft Reforged. Warcraft 3 Reforged, excuse me. It's got a 0.5. Have you ever played a game that you felt like deserved what would have to happen for you to give a game a 0.5?
What was the initial scale?
What?
If you took a game,
10, it's out of 10.
Okay.
If you took a game, took a well-known licensed character, put it on a Super Nintendo cartridge, called it Mario's Time Machine, then you probably get a 0.5. All those things put together.
That was a good game.
That was the best game ever made.
That was the worst fucking game anyone's ever played. Mario Teaches Typing is better than Mario's Time Machine. That's not even a game.
So the worst game that you ever played, would you give it a 0.5?
Probably not.
I would give Mario Time Machine a 0.
I was gonna say that's the weird part because usually on that scale, it just depends how they work. Because some scales do like decimals on stuff like 6.9 and all that, where it's kind of fair. But generally, if the scale's always like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, well, to do a 0.5, you're kind of insulting. You might as well just give them a 0.
I mean, at that point, does the game work? Like,
I was saying, there has to be a lot wrong with it.
It has to be a game that doesn't even load half the time.
Apparently it works. It's just, it looked different than what was at BlizzCon when they showed it off.
That's normal.
The UI was different than what they showed off.
That's normal.
They said there were a few bugs, but it wasn't anything that crashed the
someone
game.
that took Mario and put him in a game, and he was so upset that he just wanted to fuss that the game was bad.
That sounds like the E3
That's exactly
effect.
what it sounds like. That reviewer just really liked Warcraft, and it was just insulting enough to do that.
Yeah,
where like I said, you could just gave it whatever. I mean, if you really want to give it 0 there, the 0.5 just was odd.
It's a 0.5 out of what, 5 or 10?
10. 0.5 out of 10.
Yeah, obviously that dude had a gripe.
No. Out of like 3, I forget the total number of players who reviewed the game, but the collective, it was well over like 3,000, I want to say.
And they've averaged out to a 0.5?
Yes. It went to 0.4, but then someone brought up to a 0.5, and then people trashed a dude who like made it go up.
Well, that's
to
the internet. Yeah.
That's weird. Maybe it was kind of like,
nah.
Even though it had nothing to do with gaming, maybe it was kind of like the Dave Chappelle stand-up. Where Rotten Tomatoes gave it like or the critics gave it like a 0.
Oh, it was bad, yeah.
But then like the actual people who went to see it gave it like a 99 or something.
Well, normally that's the way it normally does go with like games and movies and stuff.
0?
The critics will give it. It's normally the critics give it a lower score.
They gave it
the user
it was like
score.
a 0, wasn't it? Or like a 5.
It was bad. Yeah,
it was like one of the lowest scores ever. Like for anything.
A lot of media did that.
Yeah,
basically because of the things he was talking about.
Yeah, normally the critics always have the lower score, and the people normally have the higher. Yeah, but I think the critic score for this World of Warcraft was like maybe like a 5 or something, like 5.8 or something. And then
generally, I feel like most games low is about a 2. Like I never played something
2
that
to
was
3.
like,
Usually something that's like really buggy. And you would still get a 2 or 3. And it'd be like, yo, this game's just full of bugs. Like,
I want to say when they do the scale, when critics do it, it's like I think the game loading gives you automatic like a 2 or something like that.
It's like the SAT.
The
you write your name, you get 400 points.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I don't know. I just don't understand. It's the whole E3. It's the E3 effect. We see
0.5.
I've never played a game that made me so mad that I got online, logged on to whatever site that people were voting on.
You never played head coach. That's what.
I haven't played head coach.
I've never been that
remember
angry.
head coach being
and that's what
one of the Maddens, wasn't it?
I still got the bundle. You can borrow it.
No, fine. I'm still working on Black College football that you gave me those Christmases ago. But the real game is at halftime. The bands battle. So fucking racist.
No comment. I have nothing to say.
All right, so I believe 0.5 is a little harsh, people.
Like I said, sounds
either
like
give it the 0, give it the 1, or we don't
give
know.
it the 1 for turning on and working.
I mean, your normal votes of like 3,000. A lot of people like that game a lot. I mean, that's most games. Like if let's say Final Fantasy VII sucked remotely, it's going to be low. Like it doesn't even have to be bad
because your fans are so hardcore.
Yeah.
So the backlash is ridiculous. Like it's kind of hard, I guess, to win those because they expect like God tier.
Yeah.
Like,
what's hard
Final Fantasy
expectation?
VII, like everyone is expecting that to be like the greatest game they've played. You know,
well, remakes are hard to do anyways because everyone expects it to be the same, but not the same at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're in a weird boat.
Yep.
Which I'm not saying Final Fantasy VII would do bad, but
if you change it, they hate it. If you don't change it, they hate it. You don't win.
I'll be wearing beer goggles. So Gamestop has hired 3 people: Bill Simon, ex-president of Walmart; J.K. Sminnick, ex-chief of PetSmart; and from Nintendo, Reggie Fils. Is it too late?
Not gonna get
Is it too late for GameStop in the game right now?
Well, I think we're seeing it now. They're rebranding. They're getting very high on collectibles. I mean, they always carried Pops, but it seems like they got more of them. They're starting to bring in like statues. So I think they're trying to rebrand with all these new people.
I mean, you got three people that have done. I mean, they're highly successful. You see what Walmart's done. I mean, PetSmart's still around, and it's Reggie. Everybody knows Reggie.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've never seen a Nintendo Direct or anything Nintendo, I mean, you see what he does. So it gives them a chance. And depending on what direction they go in this, whether they take it in still doing games plus memorabilia or just strictly just collectors and stuff like that, only time will tell at this point. But we'll see how they redo everything, because I think they put up a test shop in New York at some point in time.
So the one with the consoles and stuff in it, to where you could rent time to play.
Yeah, like the consoles, and then they have
That's
like the
what I was about to
couches
say.
and
I
stuff
feel
like that.
They may rebrand to what we've been seeing with like a lot of the stores coming up with playing card games and Warhammer and all that.
I hope they don't use that whole pay to play games and PCs, because most stores that's tried that, there were stores that did that. People won't know, but in the mall in our area, I don't know if you remember years ago.
Oh yeah.
That store in the mall.
It depends where you're at. It's there because I know when I was at San Diego, they had an arcade where they would hold tournaments and have the PCs and all, and that did well.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they did too, but I guess they just couldn't get.
That's why I said it depends on your area. A lot of times, it seems like.
Yeah, I was gonna say this area probably isn't that great for it. I mean,
Yeah.
we have two places that do that now. They seem to be doing okay, but they also have other things outside of that, though.
Yeah,
because they have like their sanctioned tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, GameStop. It's good that they're trying to rebrand, because it means that they actually see the future, and the future is going to be they're not going to have used games to sell. Like, I know I always mess with Keith about this, but PlayStation and Xbox will remove physical media probably in the next iteration of console, because it's just the next thing. It's kind of like how Tesla showed how good an electric vehicle can be. Like a gasoline powered motor never will accelerate as fast as electric, because it's instant. There's always lag, even though lag is super slow on these, gasoline engines. You can't beat instant. And as you keep engineering on the electrical side, you're going to see that gap just widen to where people are like, the value of the internal combustible engine, it's not there anymore. Everyone's doing this. And I feel like cloud gaming is going to show that. And they've already trying to make their own cloud gaming things, because no one wants to buy a game and then have to wait a long time for it to install. And then you're probably going to have a patch to download on top of that. It's probably 10 to 15 gigs, because that's the going rate. And then you're waiting again. And then if you ever played a cloud game and you realize, like, damn, it's nice to just buy a game and I'm immediately playing. And once you do that, you're like, why isn't everyone doing this? And then it'll take a while, but you'll start to not be so attached to the physical, because you're like, I just don't feel like waiting. and it's just that trade off. It's kind of like how people used to buy CDs until Apple Music and all these streaming services came along, and now nobody goes out and buys CDs because it's pointless.
Shocked Walmart doesn't even have them now. When I went to one of them, they
don't
even have them.
Really?
Yeah, I was
it's,
shocked.
It's no point. Like most people buying digital because you get it immediately. You don't have to go anywhere. Like,
so I think that would be the switch. Like I'm for the cloud. I think the big switch would be once internet picks up for everybody. You're just going to download because I rarely buy games anymore. The only games I buy is probably questionable ones that I want to trade in. Like, that's the only time I even think about probably physical most of the time, unless I have Amazon credit. And I'll just do that most of the time. So I think the trend's going to be, I think most of it's just going to download anyways. The only problem is the internet's not very great everywhere.
That's
still
true. That's why the cloud gaming is so much better because you don't need that bandwidth speed because you're not downloading. You're literally just purchasing.
Well, you need a fast speed to
it.
keep the stream well.
But people have that now. But like you said, I mean, I have a good internet connection, but it's still going to take me like an hour or two to download a game. But I can play Stadia 4K, 60 frames per second, 5.1 HDR surround, so whatever.
I think there's places like in the US that can't even get 10.
Exactly.
But
what I'm saying is I have a really good connection, but yet I would still have to wait 2 hours. Yep. And if people could get my connection, like you said, it'd probably be great to them, but it's still not fast enough to mitigate the download times. But yet it's way fast enough to play cloud gaming. So it's like, what do you wait on? Do you try to keep grabbing your download speed to try to download like a 100 gig game in 15 minutes? Or do you just use a lesser connection that you can just stream that same game, same quality, without ever having to download it, and then never have to worry about storage?
I would say that's the biggest holdup is a lot of it's storage because, I mean, that's the only time I hate downloading stuff because, like, my PlayStation, I don't think I've bought a game in a while.
I don't even download the free games on PlayStation. Because
I will say, I just claim the free games.
You claim them, but you never get to play them. Like you said, you claim them on PlayStation, but when do you download them? You don't because you don't have the space. It's like I have to download it and then, Keith has an external hard drive. And then I have to move it to my external hard drive. On cloud gaming, it's like, oh, these are free games. Claim. If I want to play them, I play them whenever the hell I want, and they're ready to play. I never have to worry about the download or the patch or nothing. Like, that shit is just too convenient. So I just see them going that route because it's the next thing.
I told you PS Cloud.
You'll never offset that, no matter how fast you get. I mean, think about how fast hard drives are now, how fast graphics cards are now, and you're still waiting that long to download and install a game. Yeah, like you can't beat instant. You can't beat that it's already there. So,
it will be interesting to see how it goes. If everything does go cloud, then GameStop will end up, switching off and then try and figure out
just selling memorabilia and collectibles.
Yeah,
that's why I said I'm happy they
tournaments or something.
They see that they're like, yo, this probably isn't going to be viable. They see it better than Blockbuster did. Blockbuster seen Netflix and didn't see that people don't want to come to your store when they can just pay $10 a month and watch anything on demand right away. They don't have to go down there and they say, oh, somebody just rented the last copy. There's no last copy on Netflix. Yeah. So you're going to move. Who's the last time you bought a DVD? Bought a Blu-ray movie? Nobody.
I'm about to say Rogers.
Asking Rogers.
Last year. Well, mine's different. It was a K-pop concert thing, though.
See?
Oh, yeah.
But
this is Roger we're talking about.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what happens. Is that you're like, I don't even, and you don't have to wait on those. Like, you don't download that. Like, you just don't even want to go to the store. It's like, why am I going to the store? I can just click it and watch it.
The only thing that's a little different because of how many subscriptions or whatever I want to buy on Blu-ray probably exists there between Netflix, Hulu, or Disney.
So that's
what I'm saying. Take what they do on Stadia and give it to PlayStation. Because the only thing that's stopping people from playing Stadia is the game library. But if you had PlayStation's game library, and you can access it like that, you would stop buying the games because you're like, fuck those downloads.
I think they will still have consoles a little bit because you will have the people that want the better performance. Because Stadia was it 60 frames?
Yeah.
Where I could play Destiny 2 110. Which
if you're on PC,
yeah. So you'll always have that because I know some people that still buy Blu-ray because the quality is better than streaming. but that's a very minority group too. So that's where it's like the instant, like you're gonna have the people that's like, I want my own hard drive, or own hardware. It's probably faster than what they're doing until they upgrade and beat that out. But it'll be that for a while. But that still, I think majority wants instant. That it's convenience always outweighs.
Yeah.
Like PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now is actually really convenient. Granted, you have to play older games. You know,
still that's not bad. That was it, $10 a month.
Something like
$7 now. I think they
$7?
dropped it. They dropped it.
So yeah, I mean, if I'm a parent, $7 a month, and my kid can play what, like 400 games or something. Yeah,
like they have the library, but it shows they're already dabbling.
Yeah,
and because you can either download it or you can stream it on demand if you want to play it right away. So it shows they're already working towards it. They just don't have it just yet.
I think another reason that they probably won't switch completely is because of how big esports are getting right now. I think because, I mean, you're like, if you run it from the cloud, you're limited to whatever FPS, and it's normally 60 to 30. Whereas if I'm playing as a esports person, I want as high as frames as possible, because I don't want to be able to be sitting there at a 60 and I'm like, oh, now my character wants to move after I'm reacting at like way faster than that.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I said you'll have your niche. That's what I was getting.
I was going to say, it's kind of like the automobile thing I was doing with Tesla and gas-powered engines.
Yeah.
You still have people that want gas-powered engines when they go to the track to actually race a car.
Yeah.
How many people are actually doing that? It's a small crowd.
Yeah, exactly. It is small, but it's like
so,
that market, though, is just huge right now. And it's still growing.
Most people that watch those people don't even have half of the system they have. True. They're just a dream. They're like, oh, that guy's so good, but you're not playing on nothing with close to what he's playing, or probably close to being as good.
Yeah.
But you're just looking from a distance, kind of like watching NBA stars or something. You love basketball, you probably play it too.
Yeah.
You'll never be LeBron. And you know that, but you still like look up to LeBron, like, man, he's really good. Let me go play pickleball. And I feel like I'm doing the same thing. I'm LeBron on my court at my gym. But you're not.
Oh, man. I think we answered that question.
That we did. I want to start a new thing. When we end a pod, I think each one of us should recommend a game. We've kind of done it like here and there, just like what we're playing, but just recommend a random game to a viewer. Random.
Oh, this random king right
Yeah,
here.
that's how Roger looked at me like,
random person.
Well, I was like, sadly, I've been playing NASCAR Heat 4 lately.
I seen that. I thought it was your dad for a second.
No, it was, I bought a Humble Bundle. It was all racing games, and I like that. And Project Cars, I never got that. And they had a MotoGP games. I always liked those ones. So I bought that and been playing NASCAR Heat, which was actually surprisingly good. I kind of like it. The story mode, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. So, like, you can either join a team and just race, or have your own team where you have to manage drivers and do all that. So I actually thought that was cool. It's not the greatest game in the world, obviously, but I was shocked at that. And if you get the Humble Bundle and, like, racing games, that was a pretty good game out of the bunch. I think I paid $9.
That's not bad.
I don't have one. I guess, what? Pokemon trading card game
God.
online. There you go. Just do that.
Terry and these damn
I don't know.
Pokemon games.
You could have said Warzone. That's free.
No,
That's
Warzone. I guess Warzone is free. You just you have to download everything from freaking Call of Duty first before you can play it.
so.
but then you'll be able to enjoy Warzone.
Then you can. All right, Warzone. There you go. Download Warzone. It's okay. That's all I got. It's a battle royale.
Go ahead.
No. Well, I support Nintendo. Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Very good. If you enjoy Persona, you will actually like this a lot. Day-to-day life, and then you go get busy on the battlefield. It's super thumbs up.
Isn't that one more of like a tactical one?
Yeah, it's like Final Fantasy Tactics.
I had Final Fantasy Tactics on Game Boy Advance.
I remember.
Just couldn't shake it.
I didn't mind it. I actually liked it.
I tried.
Until I killed my main character, and I didn't know why I couldn't progress the
So
story.
there was so many classes. It was just so much.
Yeah,
It was like
classes.
Disgaea.
Does that have classes too or something?
Tons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I remember
kinda
killing
like what you
somebody
said.
on Final Fantasy Tactics, and I was like, oh, I can't find this person anymore. And it was like the strongest person ever. It's like, huh, now this sucks.
I just couldn't do it. I guess my game would be, I think it's Steamworks or SteamWorld.
Yeah.
It's either Steamworks or SteamWorld Dig 2. It was a free game for the month of March on Stadia, which is really the only reason I played it. Because as anyone knows who has Stadia, we don't have a ton of games, So, but I like Stadia. I like the idea, the concept of it, so I play it. And plus, it has Destiny, so I usually find myself playing Destiny majority of the time. And I didn't play Tomb Raiders, so that was perfect for me. I got to figure out that was actually a really good game that I missed out on.
Yeah, those were.
And I only played
all three of them, or just the first? Or the
first two. I played the definitive edition, which is the first one, and I played Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Wait,
Rise
of the Tomb Raider.
Two.
I played Rise. I have to get Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Shadow was the first Stadia game of all.
I missed it on sale.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Oddly, it was $19.80. That's the Stadia
That's
sale.
so weird.
They always sell
weird
those.
sidebar. When you play Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it's gonna be a hilarious part. You have to let me know when you get to it.
I've heard that that's actually the worst
who found
of
it
the trilogy.
Yeah,
Seems like that's the going.
Yeah,
thing,
it's the worst. But
the
there's
worst.
one part that just doesn't make any sense. It's so funny.
Okay.
But when you get to it, it's so funny.
So
it's like the greatest thing ever.
So like I said, I only played those, so I was happy because I was restricted to games, so it made me play stuff because I like the idea and I want to play stuff. But anyway, so that's the real reason I played Steamworks or SteamWorld Dig 2. But it turned out to be a really good game. Pretty much all you do is like kind of dig underneath the ground. It's like kind of like Dig from Nintendo, I believe. Dig Dug, that's what it's called. Kind of like that, but it's like a sandbox type game. You can go around. You get Metro. Well, it's a Metroidvania style game. Yeah, that's the new thing.
Yeah,
Metroidvania. So you do get power ups like in Metroid. You can also upgrade your character, things like that. It's actually really in depth. It's just a fun game. I think it's about. Well, it came out on consoles and stuff like last year. So I don't know what it costs on there. Probably $10. If you didn't have the pro thing, it was $20 on Stadia. So, but I had the pro, so it was free. But whatever. But it's a really good game. Like I was shocked that it was good, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. So I would recommend playing that if you just want something that's not too complex and just to burn some time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna do it for this podcast. Be sure to hit the like, notification button, and all that. As usual, be blessed, be easy. Peace.
I just realized I think it wasn't recording when I looked in Keith's eyes and told him I wouldn't go too deep.
I hope.